My name is Gil Robertson, president of the African American Film Critics Association. Today for our AAFCA Roundtables, we are welcoming Charlize Theron and Kiki Layne, the stars of the new kick-ass drama Old Guard, which is currently airing on Netflix. I'm gonna let you guys do your thing. I'll see you in a few.
Hi ladies, I'm Mercedes. I'm with She Critiques and I represent Black Women Film Network here in Atlanta. My first question is to you, Charlize, and then I also have one for you as well, Kiki. We touched a little bit on this earlier about the theme of immortality. Immortality, I'm sorry. I had this all rehearsed.
All the time, by the way.
I had it rehearsed.
No.
But the theme of immortality. And I think with your character, Andy, Charlize, what are your own thoughts around the blessing and curse of immortality? And she also gets that gut punch as well. So Andy's going through this and she's, you know, taking bullets, taking stabs, and there's fearlessness. But then she gets that gut punch of, wait a minute, you know, my clock is ticking a little bit here. I want you to talk a little bit about the blessing and curse of immortality and how you feel about it.
Yeah, sure. Listen, it was probably the thing that we discussed the most on during the development process, and also while we were shooting this film, because it's such a huge theme in the story. So I remember vividly, you know, before I made this movie, whenever people asked me about immortality, I would just kind of like be like, yeah, that would be great. Wouldn't that be amazing? But it's when you ponder it for a little bit longer that you really realize the loneliness and the pain that comes with that. And I know this is such a stupid analogy, but, you know, given that dogs live much shorter lifespan than us, I've gone through 4 families, dog families that I've had to lose in my life. It's really hard. It's really painful. I can't imagine if those were my humans, my tribe. Mm-hmm. And that's really what Andy has to face, you know, and has faced for over 6,000 years. That's you know, and also seeing the realization in a character like Niall, who have to come to some kind of a resolve around that idea, is something that's, I think, very human, right? Because even if we're not immortal, it is the question of like, what do you do with the time that you have now? Like, in a weird way, we are immortal right now, right? Because we don't know, like we're living, I mean, we have an idea of when that's gonna go away, but our characters are kind of set up in that same way. At some point, it will go away for them as well. And so the question becomes more like, where do you find that purpose in your life, and how do you live the time that you do? How do you, the thing you have power on over, how do you choose to what you're gonna do with those things?
Thank you. And for you, Kiki, this being your first action film, I feel like you always approach your characters with the authenticity, a rawness, and also a pureness and an innocence almost. I see that in Niall's character. So I wanted to know if there was a conversation at all with Gina of how you would approach Niall and portray her.
I mean, definitely from the very beginning, just having, you know, my director session with Gina. I mean, we definitely wanted to represent, you know, Niall's physical strength and, you know, the dignity and strength that comes with playing a Marine, but also, you know, not being afraid to dig into and represent. I mean, what she's going through, there's a lot of pain and fear there. Even, I think it's Nikki who says when they first dream about me, and Booker's kind of like, oh, I don't want to go get her. And Nikki says, like, don't act like you forgot your first time. Don't act like you forgot how lonely and afraid you were. And so I definitely had to, you know, open myself up to lean into that aspect of it too. Like, yeah, I'm playing this, you know, badass, kick-ass warrior, but at the same time, I'm playing her at a time where she is very afraid and she is feeling alone and unsure of herself. And it's kind of, you know, being forced to let go of the life that she's always known. So that was definitely always a big part of, you know, conversations that I had with Gina about really, you know, making space to dig deep into all those aspects of Niall and what she's going through.
I think that you are spot on. I think that if we were lucky enough to go and explore a sequel, I do think those would probably be 2 very big, important emotional points for Andy. Obviously, her relationship with Quinn is one that we set up in the first film. to be a very important one, and one that she carries a lot of, that she's haunted by, one where she feels a tremendous amount of guilt that she let her friend down and that she couldn't fix the situation. And she's lived with that for thousands and thousands of years. And I think the dynamic is going to be an interesting one, because it will not be, they will not reunite and just give each other a hug. They'll probably, I mean, she's pissed. I mean, Quinn is pissed. I think we can tell that from this. So I think there might be a great fight before we hug.
I really enjoyed being a part of a big ass action film. I mean, I would love to do more of it, and just representing for, you know, kick ass warrior women and warrior Black women, and putting that at the forefront, because I mean, what we're portraying is real. You know, there are women leading, there are women in the military, that this is all real. It's just pushing, you know, on Hollywood, like, yo, represent this more in film is so important.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Absolutely awesome film, ladies. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, members of AAFCA. We appreciate you coming on board today. Thank you to Kiki and Charlize. You guys have a terrific day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you very much.
Bye.